it's Gabi Koyenov, and welcome to part 2 of my Shidduch video series. If you are confused during this video, you are going to want to go back and watch part 1. In part 1, I explained what the Shidduch system is, some pros and cons of it, and it was mostly positive. In this video, I'm going to explain a lot more about my experience and where I think the weaknesses are, and what honestly needs to be improved. So I'm really excited for this video. I really wanted to make a video like this because I'm not sure that there are other videos out there that are this direct and open and just like willingness to discuss the issues and throw it out there. And my hope is that just by discussing this and airing it out and putting it out there, I could create some more buzz in talking about this somehow and be able to, I don't know, just make things happen, make things move, push us in a direction of motion. So that's kind of what I hope to accomplish. The other thing I hope to accomplish is creating another vlog style video, which is probably the main purpose. But without further ado, I would like to get into it. Okay, so I think my experience, and I'm gonna be real here, I am Bukharian, and there are a lot of people that will get my resume and see the last 2 letters of my last name and just immediately write that off as a reason not to go out. Now, I'm not just talking about Ashkenazim, other types of Sephardim as well. There's just a lot of stereotyping, and that goes all around. I mean, there are plenty of Bukharians and Sephardim and Ashkenazim and vice versa all over the place that would not want to go out with a person of a different community. Now, I'm not even saying that people should ignore the fact of my background, or of anyone's background for that matter. What I'm saying is that to reduce a person to that background, even granting, I don't know what stereotypes people have in their minds, like why somebody would say no, meaning I'm going to pretend as if I would say no to an Ashkenaz person. Let's say I have stereotypes about Ashkenazim, and that's the reason I would not want to go out with an Ashkenaz girl. Say I have those stereotypes in my mind. Now, let's even say that those stereotypes are by and large accurate, which I would say would not even be true. But let's say that those stereotypes are by and large accurate. It's like when I get the resume of this Ashkenaz girl, I don't know anything about her. Is she the stereotype that I'm so concerned about that for whatever reason I can't marry a person because this stereotype just ruins marriages? Meaning what I should do ideally is to look into it and find out if this girl is compatible for me. And if there are certain stereotypes within the community that is true on average, is that true for her? So that is ideally what people I think should be doing. You know, with me, it's been particularly frustrating and painful because I think there's like a lot of gaslighting in theory where I tell people, yeah, people just say no to me because I'm Bukharian. People love to deny that. It's like, no, that can't be. Like, that can't be. It's like people have this character flaw and then they like totally refuse to admit that they have it. There's something wrong with our community and way of thinking in which we preach a certain value of inclusivity and being open-minded and actually caring about other people and whatever, and then it's like when it comes down to it, it's like we're reducing people to pieces of paper. It's just terrible, and people are getting hurt by this. And it's not just me. It's like I'm speaking from my own experience here, but there are plenty of people that have complained about such superficial things that are happening to them within the system. And what else do you expect? The system is just, it's great for what it tries to do, but it doesn't work for everyone. And we absolutely need more. I've been to certain singles events, and I've dated girls from singles events, and they've even said to me after, I would never have gone out with a Bukharian, but after meeting you, I'm really happy we got together. All great girls, of course. Everyone I dated was fantastic. But whatever, it's just like that's what's happening. And I'm not even saying I'm somebody who's so open-minded and I would never be superficial. Like, I've said no to girls for incredibly superficial reasons. Even something that is kind of more serious, but still superficial is, let's say a person doesn't like how the partner looks, meaning she doesn't like how I look or I don't like how she looks, and we break up for that reason. How this person looks is nothing to do with how this person might be a mother or might be a spouse or just might be an incredible person all around and might make you happy in every way in the world. And it's just like, I don't know, you don't like her looks. In a way, that's superficial too. But it's like, at the end of the day, you need to be attracted to your spouse. There's a spectrum between like, this is like totally superficial and shouldn't even be a factor, till this is actually important. I personally feel like we're on this very superficial side of the spectrum where it's like people are just not even giving chances to other people that it could be a really fantastic idea, or people are breaking up too soon, And it honestly, it makes sense when you're in a community that you have to get married to the right one, and it's just, it needs to be perfect. You know what I mean? Like, that's the idea in a lot of people's heads, where it's like, this is my one shot. Divorce is looked down on in the community. It's not something people ever want to go through, and it's a painful experience, frankly. You know, I've never been divorced, but from my understanding of divorce, it's incredibly painful. People know it's like, it has to be the absolute right one. So it's like, yeah, of course, the dumbest things, you'll just knock it off. And there's also a fear of commitment for many people. And it's just, it's a bad system for a lot of people in the system. And I could definitely speak for myself, but I know for a fact that I'm speaking for many other people out there, and many friends, and many other people I know, that people just complain about the system, whatever. And I don't think we should stop the Shidduch system. I think the Shidduch system, like I said, works so well for probably most people in the system, but I think there just absolutely needs to be more. You know, we should not be disencouraging singles from going to singles events. There should be way more singles events. I think that we need even more than, there needs to be more options than just singles events. You know, there are some movements for online dating within more yeshiva circles. I don't know where that's going. Personally, I'm not involved in the scene, but that's another potential idea that could work well for a lot of people. And I don't know, we need really good creative solutions. Like, let me just give you another quick story. I was at a pizza shop, and I saw this girl. You know, she was pretty. You know, she saw me, and like, you know, we had a moment where we checked each other out for a second. And I thought, look, why can't I just go up to this person right now and introduce myself and ask them, like, are you dating? Like, or do you have a shotgun? Like, maybe, like, I don't know, if you want my husband. And then, you know, she could communicate through the shotgun. If she didn't want to go out with me, she could just communicate that, like, whatever. At the end of the day, it's like, there's a way of us meeting up. Like, if I wouldn't do that, I'm never seeing this girl again. You know what I mean? This is just in passing. This is the first time I've seen this girl. I may never see her again. So why not just shoot that shot and, like, see where things go? And, you know, I didn't go up to her in the end just because, like, I know that that's beyond community norms. And it's just like, I brought that up to the rabbi, and I'm like, what? Why is that considered inappropriate? It doesn't make sense to me that that would be considered inappropriate. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not asking her to dance with me. I'm not asking her to do any more than that. It's just like a real cordial communication, all for the purposes of dating, right? And he basically told me, he's like, look, she would be incredibly uncomfortable with that if you did that, most likely. And, like, he's probably right at the end of the day, but it's just like, what has our community become when it's like we are so, like, coddled and, like, I don't even know what the word is, where it's like people will get uncomfortable by that. It's just like, it's hard for me to wrap my head around. This dating system is just not working for so many people, and coming up with real solutions to, like, actually try to solve it. There's so much gridlock and stagnation and whatever, and it's just like, part of the reason I'm making this video is like, put these ideas out there, express this frustration from a single person that, and trust me, it's not just my opinion alone. I'm probably speaking for many hundreds, if not thousands, of guys within this, and girls in the Shidduch system, that for sure feel similar frustrations, that have just been in the system for a long time, and the system's just been failing them time and time again. These matchmakers that think they're doing you a favor by sending you these options that you know make no sense, but, you know, they think they're doing you a favor. And again, I'm not against any shadchan that does that. I think it's really kind of them to do that. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's frustrating for the single person that, like, is just being this person's, like, project. You know, you're being this person's, like, guinea pig. Like, they're sending you these ideas that, like, I don't want to marry this person. Like, it doesn't make sense for me. Whatever. It's like, that's the system. I personally think there should be more. And I think that there needs to honestly be rabbis getting up and saying, like, look, like, let's actually try not to be so superficial. Like, okay, if the girl is a little bit older and there's an age gap, like, that's okay, you know, that's not an issue. Meaning, the idea is just be open-minded. A guy or a girl is of a different nationality than you're used to, you know, look into it, see if that actually will matter to you. You know what I mean? And maybe even go out with this person, because if you meet them, you might realize that they're just an amazing person, and it's like, why be so superficial? And then it's also possible you're totally right. But the idea is, like, look into it. Don't just, like, go by our stereotypes and be superficial and say no for the most ridiculous reasons. So another idea that I heard, and I think is a phenomenal and fantastic idea, is utilizing weddings for shidduchim. I think that every wedding is a wasted opportunity. You know, all the bride's friends are there, all the groom's friends are there, and it's an opportunity for people to meet each other and create more future weddings, hopefully. You know, everyone is coming up sharp, looking their best at a wedding. Once the bride and groom do the ceremony and the whole chuppah situation, and then they go off to the yichud room, and everyone is going to the wedding to start it. What should immediately happen? This should be the norm. What immediately should happen is all the singles that are in the parsha, that are in the dating category and age, will go back to like the chassan's tish room or the shmorg room, and it will just be a singles event. You know what I mean? Like, everyone should just meet each other. Shadchanim should be there. Rabbi should be there. And people should just get to talking, get to knowing each other. And I think I've also talked with another person of a few other people and discussed kind of what the idea of the shidduch system is. And what they've expressed to me is a lot of the system is so that you don't fall for someone's beauty and make a wrong decision. And this is, I have some sharp words to say about this, some sharp thoughts, in which I think, look, the type of person that's going to hypnotize you by their beauty and make you marry them for like, just, even though they're not good for you, is an incredibly, incredibly rare person. You know, like, that type of beauty is not such a commonplace thing that if people met each other at singles events, people will start like marrying the wrong type of person. It's absolutely ridiculous. And additionally, it's ideal to be attracted to your spouse. You know, if you see this person and they are attractive, what's the assumption that they're not going to be the right one? You know what I mean? Why not explore that and talk with them? And if anything, you have a basis for a relationship. Hopefully it'll be a more serious type of basis as opposed to just looks, of course. But it's a good starting point as far as I'm concerned. And like, it doesn't make sense to me, the thought process behind why singles events or this idea about weddings would be inappropriate, or even honestly going up to a girl and asking her straight out. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that I think a lot of modern Orthodox people will do if they meet a girl in college or at a Shabbos table. You know, they just schmooze and they'll, whatever, if the person wants to make a move, they could just ask the other person out. And it's like in other circles that's considered so bizarre and so weird, and like, I don't see like what is so honestly weird about that. I think like it's almost considered virtuous when somebody gets like uncomfortable by such a situation, but in my mind it's just like you have to have thicker skin than that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, I hope this was informative somehow.